Okay, we're back at it. See, I'm not going to hook this one up yet. I'm going to hook this up over here so that I can put this all back together. Here's the wire that came up. I shoved up through the floor. Okay, underneath. And I'm going to turn the lights back on. And I put this dimmer switch in. And I made a video of that too. That way I could dim these, you know, at night. It's kind of cool. It happens to be a three-way dimmer. I didn't even know they had three-way dimmers because that switch, there's a switch over there that turns these on. So I got a three-way dimmer switch. Never put one of those in before. Only single pole dimmer switches. Oh, I gotta leave that on. I wanna have as much light in here as I can. I'll turn this light on over here. It gives me a little bit more. Okay. So, what to do next? Well, if you've been with me, you'll know that I need to have this power strip facing this direction. And I'm going to face it, I'm going to probably have it about right there, which tells me this is going to plug in here, and I'm gonna kind of loop it around and then probably plug it in like that. You know, I could twist it around, but it's already got a natural twist to it. If that's like that, and this goes in, and either way, the best way to do it is to plug it in this way. So I've got the plug facing that way, not that way. Okay? So I'm going to do it that way. Okay, and I need to have the power strip facing over that way, because when I put the sectional back together, all of these go back together over there. When I do that, all of these are long enough to reach over to there. Okay, and yeah, that'll be plenty long, I'm pretty sure. That one's going to be long enough, and that's the only electrified one. And see, that's going to be plenty long there. And then I've got my my other little extension cord. Let's see, I've got my power strip right there, so I'm going to have two things plugged into that from over there. Actually, three things. I've got this chair, that little section piece there, and that chair. So I'm going to have three things plugged into there. And then I'm going to have, see, I got two more things powered over here. This chair and this little section piece. Okay? And so I'll be able to have that plugged into this extension cord right there, and then I'll be able to fish this end. So it'll be about there, and then I'll be able to fish that end, this end. Once I fish it underneath this little corner piece, I'll be able to just have enough room to plug that in right there. That's why I need that piece there. And I spent some time trying to figure out, okay, where am I going to put that electrical outlet in the floor on this whole thing? Because initially I thought, you know, the closest point would have been from that plug just over to here, right? I could have put the electrical outlet there. But then I would have had a power strip there, had just these two things plugged into the power strip, and then I would have had to have this white cord, and then I would need another white cord, and then maybe another one to go all the way over here to hit all of these things. You see what I mean? And I didn't want to daisy chain, you know, these little extension cords through here. At least 2 and possibly 3. Or I could have went 1 to a power strip and then went over there to the white deal into the power strip and then had another power strip. So now all of a sudden I got 2 power strips and all that, had I put the electrical outlet over there. So I thought I was doing myself a favor by figuring it out, and I did. I did do myself a favor, because this is where it makes the most sense, to where I only have to do one thing. And the first thing I'm going to do is strip the wire. Remember that the ground faces that way, okay? And so I'm going to strip this wire back. Just take my wires, my sheetrock knife. I got to be careful not to cut my finger or anything. I go up to about there and then hold it under on the back side. Okay. Some people, there's a little tool you can get that goes around that, and then you pull on it, and that can strip it too. And I've seen some people use that, but most people don't. So I just cut that, and then there's a piece of paper that's wrapped around the ground wire. Whenever I don't use this, I have it disengaged. I have it closed. I don't like to leave it open and then start working with this in my hand. You know, that's a bad habit to get into. Okay. Okay, so right now all I got is the black wire, the white wire, and the ground wire coming up. And that's how I'm going to plug it into this. And before I do that, well, let's see here. I used a cut-in box. It has a notch here. I think I told you I could cut the ears. I could cut the ears off of this. There's a little indentation there, and then I would score it with my cutters. You know, I would score it, and then I would take a pair of pliers right in there and bend it back and forth and break that off, break this tip off, and then that end fits between a little notch here to get it down even lower down in the floor. But I'm not going to do that for this particular instance, mainly because this carpet is up a little bit, and I want that plug on the outside of that, because this is depressed and pushed down into the carpet just a hair, not very much. And so I can leave these little tabs on here, okay? But anytime you do a cut-in box, like see, take you over here. Remember, I put a cut-in box over here because this is where the power. I had to find power somewhere to power that. So I came out of here, and I showed you that before, if you were watching those videos. And if you look at the cut-in box, this is the same type of cut-in box. See this little notch in here? That's because these flanges fit on the outside of the sheetrock. That's what keeps this in. And then with that paddle flips up after you push this in the wall. That goes up, and then you screw this in, and then that screws in behind your sheetrock. If it's 5/8 of an inch thick or 1/2 inch, usually it's 1/2 inch, you screw that up there like that, and it's tight. But see, you wouldn't want to take this outlet and stick it in there on top of that, because then it sticks out even further away from the sheetrock, because usually there's not a cut-in box in your wall. Usually it's just a regular box and it fits flush in there. You don't have these tabs sticking out. Okay, that's all on the inside. Then you can put this on flat up against there, okay, because then you're flat up against the sheetrock. Here we're not flat up against the sheetrock, are we? We're actually, you know, a 32nd of an inch out away from the sheetrock. And if we put this on over the top of that, we're another 32nd of an inch out away from the sheetrock. And so when you put your cover plate on, sometimes you're liable to have your cover. I'm going to put this plug in over here when I get done. Sometimes your cover plate won't necessarily be flush with your sheetrock. It might be sticking out away from it a little bit because you didn't cut these tabs off. And see, there's a little line right there and right there. That's where you would score it, and then you would bend this and break it off. There's hardly even a score there. They used to have an actual score years ago on these receptacles, but now there's just a line that tells you where to cut. You can cut that off with your cutters. You know, sometimes you can cut it all the way off. Do it really hard, or do a little bit, and you see this one here. This doesn't have as big of a tab on there as that, right? But there's a definite little line there, and you just score that and take these little ears off, and then this section between there and there fits right in between there. See? And then that pushes it in closer. And that's how you do the cut-in boxes. If you ever install a cut-in box, make sure you cut your tabs off. Okay. So back over to here we go. And let's see. Oh, I got a little helper here. She's been helping me every once in a while. She's like, okay, what's going on? What's going on over here? And she thinks she's helping. Maybe she is. Okay, so because this is a cut-in box per se, I'm not going to do it because, like I said, I pushed it down into the floor and have the tabs kind of pushed down on top of the carpet. Okay, well, if I were to cut these tabs off, this might be down so low that when I put the cover plate on, I have to cinch the screw in so far that maybe it breaks this off. Or you can put a vinyl cover plate on there, push it down instead of a hard plastic one, and dimple it down in there. But I'm just going to leave these tabs on. Okay? So the next thing I have to do is strip these wires. There's two ways I can hook it. I can hook it up to this. Now, first off, the silver is where the white wire goes. The gold screws are black, and this is the hot side is a shorter line than over here. This is the neutral side. You can see that over here, because these silver is for the white wires, gold is for the black wires. And it doesn't matter which screw you put it on, because see, there's a little tab right there. See that little metal tab right there? If you put one wire on, because see, I only have one wire, one white wire and one black wire. So it's like, okay, which screw do I put the white wire on? It doesn't matter. I can put it here. I can put it in this hole, over that screw, here or here, because this little tab right there connects these two. And if you wanted a light switch to control top half of this and have half of it hot all the time, you would take the tab, just on the hot side, and break that tab off. And then the bottom would be controlled by your light switch, and you'd have to have your wire down here, and then this one would be hot all the time. That's the only time you would snap that off. And if you ever did that, you just leave this neutral side together. I'm not quite sure why they give you one on the neutral side, because I've never known a reason why you would want to snap that side off. Just this side. and I'm still working here, but when I get that done, I'll have that all cleaned up. I assured her, yes, when I get all done, it's going to look like I was never here. And that's the goal every time I do a project, and hopefully that's yours too. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos.